If I was going back in time, these are the 5 things I wish I knew when I first started buying and selling sports cards. I'm going to go from 5 all the way down to 1 in excruciating detail, so hopefully you don't make these mistakes. Number 5, which is actually sounds kind of simple when I say it out loud, and all these things sound simple now, but they just weren't back at the time, is that new products are high. Okay, you've probably heard me talk about this if you've listened to my content before. So when a product comes out, let's take Prism football, right? Let me just share let me share my screen to highlight a better analogy. And by the way, I am in Las Vegas right now. I was here for a sports card show, then I'm headed to Dallas in a few days. So that is why the background. Not a bad place to be though, right? I lost a bunch of money over the weekend. That's not fun, but let's check this out, right? So Jaden Daniels, this is a silver prism. This is a raw silver prism. When this card first came out, this card you can see was like $500, right? 500, 400, 600. And then it had a steep drop right away and it settled down, in the mid to low $200. And now this card's even lower because the season has started. And because I was new to sports cards, I didn't understand this. When new products would come out, I'd be like, great, I can buy these cards, get them graded, and make a lot of money. Well, I'd be buying the cards here when they were high and selling and getting them back when they were much lower. You can see it makes it way harder to make money. And this isn't just football. This is every single sport. The reason this happens, and this is just my belief, I'm not exactly sure if this is correct or not, but the reason this happens is because if you've been in the hobby for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, no one buys right away. It's very rare. But the newbies, because there's so many new people coming into the hobby all the time, people just get excited. Like, oh my God, like this new card of Jaden Daniels comes out and it just skyrockets the market. And I think it's pumped up by a lot of newbies because this is like very simple to anybody who's been in the hobby. But that was a mistake I made a lot. This was like in 2015 and 2016 when I first got in. And it took me about a year to realize, wait, every time I get these cards back from grading, when I buy them right away, they're worth lower. So about a year it took me of losing some money to figure out, okay, don't do that anymore. That's number 1. Or that's number 5, excuse me. Number 4, this is huge. This is a big one, okay? So gem rate. I would buy cards without doing research. I'd buy a card and let's say the card would be worth $100. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is a great buy. A PSA 10 does $1,200. So here, let me give actually the same exact card I could use as an example. So check this out, right? If we go to like market movers and let's take the same exact card, Jaden Daniels, Silver Prism, PSA 10, okay? You might look at this card, especially someone who's newer, right? And you're buying and grading. Let's compare these right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I would look at this card and be like, oh my God, $100 raw and a PSA 10 is $1,000. I want to double my money. I'd much rather do that than buy a card that's $100 and it's $300 as a PSA 10. However, I did not understand gem rate. And now this comes very natural because I've been doing it very long and I understand what cards are hard to grade and what cards aren't. So let's take this card of Jaden Daniels. Now, Jaden Daniels, Silver Prism, PSA 10. Let's check this out. This card, you could see, it is hard to get a PSA 10. Only 12% of these cards get a PSA 10. That card is not easy to grade. That's why you almost 10 times your money if it does get a PSA 10, right? It sounds like common sense now, but back then I didn't understand that some cards were harder to grade and some cards were not harder to grade. And especially if you're newer to doing this, right? If you're newer to buying and selling sports cards and if you're newer to grading sports cards, you're going to suck, right? You're not going to be as good as you will be in a year from now or 2 years from now. And now, because I've been doing this such a long time, I'll take risks and buy cards like this. And I'm not saying this card can't get a PSA 10. But what I'm saying is if you're newer and you stink, make it easier to make money. So let's take another card, let's use Jaden Daniels as an example. Maybe I keep using him because he cost me a lot of money yesterday because I bet against him. I was really bullish on the Chargers, and just did not work out for me. Apparently, Jaden Daniels is better than I thought. But take this card, for example, right? This card doesn't look as fun. This card you could probably buy for like $20, $30, and a PSA 10 is like 120, 130, 140 in that range. So obviously on the surface, I'm like, wow, I'd much rather 10 times my money. But if you look a little bit deeper on gemrate.com, Jaden Daniels Disco Prism, I think it's this one. This card grades at 36%, and you could honestly find cards that grade 50, 60, 70% of the time. Just kind of show you even a better example. So let's take like this Pokemon card. I keep using this as an example because my students have made so much money with this one specific card. But this is a PSA 10's $1,100, and raw is like $448. And if you look here, Victini, what is it, 172? Is that it? Yep, it's this one. This card grades a 10 55% of the time, and you about 2.5 to 3 times your money. It doesn't sound as fun as 10 times your money, but you know what doesn't sound fun? Sending 20 cards to PSA and one gets a 10. Okay, and that's what would happen to me. Well, really Beckett, because I used to send cards to Beckett before because PSA kind of overtook Beckett during the pandemic. But if you're newer to doing something, right, and you're investing money, you know, your wife's up your ass, you know, your kids are calling you an idiot, your uncle thinks you're a moron, prove it to yourself and prove it to your wife that this actually works and you can make money, right? Get the momentum going, start making some money, even if it's a little bit, to get the ball rolling, right? Because starting anything, you're naturally going to be skeptical. Okay, you should be, right? You're starting a business, right? And most people around you probably think this doesn't work because people are skeptical of everything that's outside of the norm of going to college and getting a job and investing in a 401k. So make life easy, especially in the beginning. And I wish I knew that, but I did not. That's number 4. Number 3, this is also pretty simple. And now that I say it out loud, it sounds foolish that I made these mistakes, but I did. So knowing what products are liquid. This is simple. So I used to buy cards like Topps Inception. Let me show you what this looks like. I like to show rather than tell. Let's take this card. I used to buy tons of these cards. So it's cards like these, especially like this, like on the surface, especially someone newer into cards, I'm like, holy crap, this card looks insane. This is super cool. And it is a super cool card. It's a nice card. But every time I'd buy cards like this, I'd have trouble selling them. However, back 2018, 2019, when I'd buy cards like, let's take a Luka Green Prism like this, these would sell before I could even get them back in the mail. And it took me time to realize, wait a second, some cards or some products or types of cards are more liquid than others. So this is a great card, but this is simply not as liquid as something like this. So understanding what products are liquid. So to put it simply, with basketball, I try to stick to like Prism, Optic Contenders, maybe Donruss, stuff like that. With football, Contenders, same thing, Prism. I try to stick Optic. I try to stick to those types of things because those are very liquid. And with baseball, Top Series, Topps Chrome, Topps Update, Bowman Chrome. Really, Bowman Chrome is the most liquid. But I used to buy all these different types of cards and all these different types of products just because they looked cool. And I was like, oh, dude, this is going to sell right away. And then it wouldn't sell. And I'd get a PSA 10 and barely make any money and break even sometimes because I just had to get rid of the card because it wouldn't sell. And it would happen all the time because I'd be buying cards that I thought were cool like this. And granted, these did make me some money, but there's something in life called opportunity cost where it's not about if you're making money or not. It's about, are you putting your money in the best spot? And I was not putting my money in the best spot, buying cards like this. I'm sure some of you guys have bought cards like freaking this, like Leaf, baseball, stuff like this. Like this stuff is just not liquid at all, like unlicensed products. So it took me a while to realize that. And, saying it out loud, obviously now it sounds foolish. It's like, why didn't you do that, Eric? But I didn't, right? I was newer to sports cards, and there was no coaching. There was no information online. It was just myself. I had my buddy helping me a little bit, and it was like a wild, wild west of a world. By the way, once I'm done going over these, then I'll begin taking callers. So you guys, if you guys want, you can start to call in to line up the queue. So that's number 3. Number 2 is timing. So I talk about this all the time. Very simply put, when a season starts, you want to get rid of all those cards. So let's take football, for example. Football starts in September. You want to be buying football in February, March, April, selling these cards in June, July, August. Basketball, same thing. You want to be buying in like May, June, July, selling it in August, September before the season starts. And baseball, you want to be buying now, October, November, December, selling it January, February, March before the season begins. Because the reality of sports cards is this, right? And let's use football as an example. So the football season just started, and let's take Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams, Silver Prism PSA 10. I just use the Silver Prism PSA 10 because it's like a very common card. And you'll notice this card, since the NFL season has started, is it's actually not down as much as I thought. It's down from like 570 down to like 460. It's down 20%. Let's take Penix. Michael Penix. This card in the past 30 days is, you can see when the season started, this card was like 350 in that range. Now the last sale today is 173. It's worth half of what it once was. And let's take someone who's actually playing pretty well. Drake May, he had a big win last night, right? Even him, who's playing well, like his stuff is up. It's up a little bit. It was like $400 in the last sales, $490. So it's up like 20%, not bad. And let's take Jaden Daniels, silver, and I'm making a point here. Trust me. So Jaden Daniels, this card was about $1,200 when the season started. Today the last sale is $1,000. It's down 20%. And who's the last one? Oh, Bo Nix. Bo Nix, his Silver Prism. You can see this card is like $420, $430, $440 in that range. And today, the last sale, this is a weird high sale. Maybe it's because they beat the Eagles yesterday. But before that, it was down to like $350. So it was down like 30%. Every quarterback but Drake May, who just recently went up, is down. Why do you think that is? Because they were hyped, so exciting, and they just, to live up to that type of hype and demand that these players get before the season, it's very hard. And I used to be just like you and just like most other collectors. I would buy, cards, football cards, getting back from grading in August, September. And it took me a while to realize, wait a second, every time I buy cards in August of football and I get them back in October, they're always worth less money. And it took me about 2 years of doing this to realize this is not a good idea. I should sell before the season starts because it seems to be more risky when I hold it into the season, and the risk is simply not worth the reward. Therefore, I stopped selling into the season. So what I do is I sell before the season starts. I get rid of all my football cards and back again like week 6, week 7, week 8 with football when the players dip down. Then I'll go and buy. Like Michael Penix, his value is worth half of what it once was. Now I'll go back in and buy it. Once again, it sounds simple to say out loud, but I didn't know this when I first started. That's number 2. Number 1, the number one thing I knew that I was terrible at when I first started really in business, not only in buying and selling sports cards, was building relationships, okay? I'm not just saying this to be corny, right, and be a good guy and build relationships, blah, blah, blah. You should, but so the most common question I get is, where's the best place to buy? Where's the best place to sell? And the best platform to buy on is really eBay, to simply answer that question. But the best place to buy and sell are to people and from people that you've actually done relationships with or done business with, and not been in relationships. That sounds wrong, but you've gotten their contact information. They trust you. You trust them. Let me give you a very direct example. So if you buy cards and get them graded, you want to sell them as fast as possible. If you have people's contact information and they trust you And number one, when they trust you, they will just send you Venmo or Zelle or a wire, or just money with no fees, right? On eBay, when you sell, you have to pay a 13% fee. So you're automatically getting 13% of your money back. That's a lot of money. And number two is these cards sell right away. So especially when I was doing this like full time, like churning like 30, 40, 50 cards a week, buying and grading, when I would get these cards back from grading, so I didn't have them in the mail yet, but I would get scans of the cards. I would just send pictures to people who I think would want them because these are previous relationships I built. They would just pay me. Sometimes I would just have the cards shipped directly to them. I would never even touch the cards. So, and no fees. They sell right away. And same thing for buying. I have tons of people in my contacts who I can just text, hey, you have any X, Y, and Z of this player? And if they do, I send them money, they ship it to me, great, deal done. I don't have to meet some stranger on eBay, and go on Facebook or Instagram. I just text them and they trust me. I trust them. No, we know we're not trying to bend each other over. We know we're both fair and that's it. Now in the beginning, this is like 2015, 2016, 2017-ish. When I first started buying and selling sports cards, I was a dick, to be honest with you. Like on Facebook is where I did a lot of my deals. I would just be very short with people. You could tell I was just there to make money. I didn't give a shit about anyone. And because of that, people started to hate me. People still hate me to this day. You've probably seen I get tons of hate on my comments and Instagram and all these places, but for different reasons now because I sell something. But back then, I guess I was doing the same thing. I was selling cards and moving tons of volume, but I was very short. I only cared about money, and you could tell. And because of it, it cost me a lot of money because there are certain people that didn't want to do business with me. You do business with people who you like, right? You buy things from people who you like. Same thing with me. If I don't like someone, like I just got pitched on a coaching program to help with like content and stuff like that. It was $11,000 and I was all ready to buy. Like I got on this call ready to buy the program. I told the salesperson, dude, just tell me the price. I got my credit card out. I'm ready to buy it. And he was so bad and he kept asking me questions that pissed me off that I didn't buy it. Cost $11,000 to that company. So you only buy from people who you like, right? So building relationships, not only is it the right thing to do, but it actually makes you much more money. Okay, so it's good person, and you make more money, right? I'm sure everyone here wants to make more money. So that's the 5. I wish I knew new products were higher. I wish I knew about gem rate and how hard or easy cards were to get a 10. I wish I knew about which products were easier to move and not easier to move. That's number 3. Number 2 is timing, and number 1, the most important part, are relationships. I wish I knew all those things. I did not at the time, and it cost me a lot of money. But we can begin the callers. If you have a question, call into this phone number, 813-618-2075. We'll let the callers begin. I know there's a bunch of questions in the chat. Eric, go hit that Planet 13. You see it in the background? We did hit Planet 13. I'm not the biggest weed smoker. I smoke weed here and there. Very one-off. But some people in my company who I'm with, they like weed. Do you see, is it in the background? No, it's not in the background.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? You have Eric, you're live.
Hey, Eric. This is James of Pick City Packs.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Not much. I've got a question for you mainly about grading. So I graded a Purple Stars Jaden Daniels passing grade.
Okay.
And it's numbered to 25. Mine got a 9. And at the same time, somebody graded a 10. I got grader's notes on mine. Mine's centering top to bottom.
Sure.
The one that got a 10 is like all the way to the left, though.
Well, that seems like that guy got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I called PSA, I called customer service, gave them cert numbers and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just disappointed at the grade myself because the 9's in better shape than the 10. You can see it clear. Question is what to do with that.
Well, number 1, sell it, break even, lose a little bit, make a little bit. It's part of the game. 2, if you're what card is it again? Jaden Daniels what?
Purple Stars, FOTL passing grade out of 25.
Let me see this. Jaden Daniels Stars. Well, what's it worth?
Well, from what I looked at, it was worth around like 2, somewhere around in there. Somewhere around
like 2,000 or 200?
200.
So, I'm trying to balance this phone. That's not working. So what I would say, one, it sucks, right? That's just part of the game. Number two, if you're that concerned about one card, that means you're not buying and selling enough. That means you're not buying enough, because the name of the game, if you're buying and grading, is, buy 5 to 10 cards a week, keep it consistent. So after a month or two, you have cards coming back to you every single week. So that's just life, man. You're going to send cards in that you think are going to get a 9 that get a 10, and vice versa. It sucks. It's part of the game. I can't tell you how many times I've sent cards in where I'm like, I bet my life this thing is going to get a 10 and it gets a 9. And vice versa. I can't tell you. Like, the most money I made on a card last year, it was an Ohtani Bowman Chrome. I bought for 10 grand as a 9, cracked it, sent it to PSA. When I got it in the mail, I was like, fuck, the edges are messed up. This is not going to work. And I got a 10. So it's just part of the game. And what I would say, number 3, is you like calling customer service, and they're never going to change the grade, just to let you know. You're wasting your own time, which means you're wasting your own money. That time can be better spent selling that card, looking at other cards, and getting the process moving forward. So I would say, number 1, you're wasting your own time. Number 2, they're never going to change the grade. Number 3, it sounds like you don't have enough consistency with buying, so you have cards coming back to you every week, because if you did, you wouldn't care as much. So that's what I would say.
Right. So I have one more question. I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do. So the Victini cards, I looked, 3 pages of Victini on eBay. I could not find one that was not off-centered.
Yep.
Is there anything other than Victini that I could look for, to kind of recoup where I'm at?
What's your budget for buying?
Probably around including grading costs, like 1,000.
Okay, so if my budget was 1,000, I wouldn't put it all into because if you buy a Victini card, that's like half your budget. I would try to buy cards in the $100 to $200 range.
Right. Yeah, and I'm wanting to stay on Pokemon. I'm just trying to look for something besides the Victini. I looked at a bunch of those. They were all centered on eBay. I didn't find one that wasn't off to the left.
It helps to have people in relationship here. Let me dip into something that we only give the students. I can't share my screen because this is proprietary, but let me see if I can find you. We have this software that pulls from eBay and just tells us some of the most profitable cards on eBay right now. Hold on, let me see if I can find something for you.
And while you're doing that, back to my PSA thing. Yeah. I know they're not going to change my grade. They're never going to change a grade. But isn't there something we can do as the public that's sending all of our money up there, to kind of make them be consistent? Because you can look at the 10 and see, that's what I was saying. Colin saying is, don't change my grade. But if mine's a 9, that 10 is definitely a 9. The 10 that they did 10 was so far to the left, it's not funny.
Yeah, they have tons of different graders. It's just that grader was probably in a good mood that gave that guy that 10. That's probably the bottom line.
That worries me for resale. You know what I mean? If you did buy a 10 and you could tell it wasn't, as a collector, would you really want that? Or, you're just going to keep it because they said it was a 10? For
the most part, collectors don't care if it says a 10, it's a 10. But it does play into it a little bit. If it's a very off-center 10, it's gonna be worth less. That's what I
gotcha.
Usually, if it's very evident, it'll be worth less. But hold on, I'm looking at it. You said you want a card. Let me try to give you a card to buy. That could be
just a little cheaper Pokemon card than Victini that still has a good gem rate.
Yeah. Hold on, I think I found something. I'm just looking at the gem rate because I don't know. V-Star. This is numbered. I don't know what number this is. Okay. It looks like this is relatively. It looks like this is a 50% gem rate. So a Charizard 2022 Sword and Shield Brilliant Stars 174. Raw it does $50. A 10 does 170, and has a 50% gem rate.
All right. Charizard 174 2022.
Sword and Shield. Yep.
All right. That'll give me what I need. I appreciate it. Like I said, the Victini, I couldn't find one. They were all off-centered, a little bit too much out of budget, I've seen in the comments, this will answer somebody else's question. To beat like the shipping cost, because somebody said like, it costs roughly $20-$25 to grade a card, but then you got to pay for shipping, which kind of puts you closer to $60 to grade a card. Well, to beat that, you need to put like 5 cards in one box and then ship it, and then you're paying like $5 a card, right?
Correct. Yeah, you don't really want to be sending $100 card to grade. You want to be buying like that Sword and Shield card. I mean, you want to be buying 5-10 cards like that per week, and then you won't care as much about shipping.
Right. Does it matter if it's the same card?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Cool. That's all I need. I appreciate it.
Sweet. Good luck out there. Let me know how it goes.
You're the best.
Thank you, bro.
You're the best.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
I think this other call. I need something. Can I get something to hold the phone just like right against my chest? Like, is there a water bottle? Yeah, hold on. We got some other callers just behind you, water bottle. We're just getting a, you can tell there's a makeshift podcast studio.
Can we get charged?
There we go. Let's do. Cool. Hey, what's up? You have Eric? You're live.
Hey, Eric. How are you? Thanks for calling me back.
What's up, man? What's your name?
It's Jeremy from New Jersey.
New Jersey? Oh, where in Jersey are you from?
I live in Bergen County.
Okay, cool. I'm originally from Passaic County.
Nice. Yeah, I just wanted to call you. I've just been a big fan, just watching your show every week.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but one of the advice you gave me, I actually called after I made the mistake. I don't think it's too much of a mistake. I think it'll be okay. I think I'll recover. I ended up buying the Shohei home run.
Okay.
That I spoke to you about probably a few weeks ago.
Okay. Remind me the card. What was it again?
It was Topps the home run challenge card. It was a September card, numbered to 67.
Was it a? Wait. Let me look it up to refresh my memory. Topps.
Yeah.
Ohtani home. It was home run. What? Oh, challenge.
Home run challenge. I guess it's like a home run challenge. They'll like give. You could like bid on whether he's going to hit a home run that month or not, and I think like 67 people voted on it. So I ended up getting that card number to 67.
And how did that go?
Well, so I received a card. I really thought about what you said. I was thinking about just flipping it for the price I bought it for, which was really low anyway. But then I decided to grade it, and then I think the grading card is going for about $250 at the moment. So for what he's doing this year too, I figure there'll be a little uptick hopefully by the time I get the card back. But the main question that I had was actually, what do you think about the IP autos? So my son and I, we actually banked pretty hard on Bo Nix and Jordan Love this year.
Okay.
So, and then we started purchasing a lot of those cars right before the season started, when the prices were like up in the air still. So we ended up picking out really cheap. So we picked up one Jordan Love PSA 10 Disco, the no huddle for like $100. I think that car was up as high as like 300 when they made the playoffs last year.
Okay. And
then we picked up a patch auto, IP auto. It's like very similar to the variation one that they have, but it's an IP auto instead of
IP. You mean in person, right?
Yeah.
So so two things to what you just said. Number one, my experience with in-person autographs is not good. They're generally less liquid. They're just harder to move. Not saying you can't make money, and I've had a little bit of experience with them. I had a hard time moving them and never bought them again. So that's my experience with them.
Just let me give you a little bit more background. So
sure.
The IP auto that I bought, it was actually PSA. You got a grade of 7, and then so I cracked it, and then I didn't want the PSA 7, the 7 on there because obviously the car was not the greatest condition.
Yep.
So then I just sent it back to PSA to get authenticated. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not going to really change the value of the card. 7 authentic. Usually people know when a card is graded authentic. it's generally not in good condition. There's a reason the person didn't want the number grade on it. So that's not gonna change the value of the card much. What's gonna change the value is if the player plays well. But you're talking to someone with limited experience in that. I generally advise my students to stay away because they're less liquid.
I see.
It's just the reality. Like, it's just, there's just not as big of a market for it. And I could be totally wrong. Like, you could find someone that could pay you tons of money. It's in-person autographs are not terribly common. That's what I would say to that. I think there's better purchases of guys who are more liquid, or of types of cards that are more liquid. And then number two, what I would say is, I'm sure you've watched, obviously you've watched my content. Like, buying Jordan Love before the season, not a bad idea. Not something I usually do, but it's not a bad idea because his stuff was low. So, like, guys, he's one of the guys who I was talking about, like Tua, Love, Sam Darnold, who I was big on, Trevor Lawrence. These guys are really low, and they're kind of at their floor, as opposed to Bo Nix, who, because his cards just came out, he was a rookie, his stuff is like hyped and so high. Generally buying those guys
this week's game,
buying those guys who are going to their sophomore year, generally a bad idea. Like, you could see Nix is down a little bit since the start of the season, but all 5 quarterbacks are down except for Drake May, who seems like he's like breaking even or worth a little bit more. But that's how it usually goes. If there's like 4 or 5 sophomore quarterbacks, most of them go down, and then there's sometimes one guy that will like stay the same or go up.
So obviously it's a risk. So because we're in the midst of the season.
Yeah.
So Bo Nix had a big game yesterday and came back and won against Philly, right? So I had his color blast actually as of yesterday. So I picked one up really, really cheap in the trade. But then his cards went down, like you just mentioned. So I actually took it, traded it, and got some cash on top of it yesterday, and then he wins the big game. So what's your feeling? And then obviously the Chargers lost yesterday.
Yep.
And then they're like fighting for the division lead, right? So does that weigh a lot in terms of whether you hold on to the car or purchases? Because I'm debating whether or not to go get more Bo Nix cars at this moment.
So it's like asking me, should I hold this stock? Who knows? Like, nobody knows whether it's going to go up or down. So generally, I like the way my mind works, and what works for me. I like simple scales, complicated fails. It's a saying in business. Okay. So, like Bo Nix, right now you're kind of stuck. It's like, well, he played kind of good. He beat the Eagles. What's going to happen? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be not good? You're playing a guessing game, right? In business, you don't want to guess. You want to make predictable money. This is why, like, investors who work for like massive hedge funds worth like billions of dollars, they do everything they could to avoid risk. They hate risk. So if it was me and I was in your shoes, what I'd be buying right now is Pokemon to grade, baseball because it's low and it's not going to go much down much more. And then with football, I'll go back in and buy the guys that are down a ton. So the only guy I would consider buying right now, and I don't even know if I'm going to do it, is Michael Penix. His stuff is worth half of what it once was for whatever. So outside of that, I'm not touching any of them because I don't want to play that game, right? Well, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Because just like you, just like me, just like anyone else, who knows, right? We both have no idea how anybody's going to play. It's a guessing game. It's like, I don't know if you remember that scene from Wolf of Wall Street. Matthew McConaughey said something about, you don't know if a stock's going to go up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards. You don't know. I don't know. Scouts don't know. Nobody knows, right? It's an impossible game to play. So I avoid playing that game altogether.
So I just ask you one more question, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So I just want to switch gears to baseball.
Yeah.
So obviously, like the Bowman Chrome 25 is out, right? And like it's taking. What's your feel on investing into some of the better prospects at this moment? Because obviously, since it's in the playoffs, and a lot of those teams are out, right? And so would it be a better time to invest now, or should I wait until the season's over?
Yeah, it's a good time to start buying baseball, in my opinion. I just avoid the guys that are in the playoffs. Outside of guys in the playoffs, I'm good to buy. Specifically speaking, I like to buy guys that have a high chance of getting called up this upcoming spring. So guys who are like 20, 21 years old, they've been in AAA or AA, and they could potentially start for the first time this upcoming year. Because those guys, there's going to be a lot of hype. When there's a lot of hype, their values obviously go up. So those are the types of guys I prefer to buy. And then also, I'll buy guys like so that stuff's kind of riskier. Then I'll buy guys who are steadier, guys already in the major leagues that have proven themselves a little bit. So maybe someone like Gunnar Henderson, right? He just kind of had an off year. The Orioles had an off year. They should be better next year if they get better pitching. But I'll also make the Bobby Witt. I'll mix in those guys because they're steadier. I know there's a market for it. It should, there's no guarantees, but it should make me money. So I'll do a mix of buying the prospects. Think of that as higher risk, higher reward than the steadier guys, younger guys who have proven themselves in the MLB already.
Okay, I just have one extra question.
No, you're good, bro. That's why I'm here.
There's one card that I'm looking at on eBay. It's what do you think about Topps Chrome Color Blast cards?
Yeah, they're solid.
That is very artsy. So I'm looking at Paul Skeens right now.
Sure.
That I want to pick up. It's a raw card. It looks pretty good condition. I want to pick it up for grading. And that's another name that I'm investing pretty heavily on a lot of the cards right now.
Yep. Skeens falls into that cat. So usually I avoid buying pitchers, but in Skeens' case, because he's so hyped, it's okay. Yeah. He falls into like the Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson category. It's steady. There's a market. It's good, especially for buying and grading. Like buying and grading, I like to buy the guys that are steadier. So I'll buy like newer cards of Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Paul Skeens, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt, all those guys. So, it's a buy and grade. Yeah, that's something that seems like a good idea. And these cards are worth, there's no PSA 10 sales, but you should over double your money as a PSA 10. So, those Topps Chrome Color Blast cards are good, in my opinion.
Did you ever invest in that Pete Crow auto?
The orange?
Yeah, remember I called in and we were talking about Pete Crow.
Yeah. No, the guy was overpriced.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was overpriced.
All right. I just wanted to get your feedback. Thank you for your information and your teaching.
Yeah, bro. Good luck out there. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're getting to you callers. By the way, all you guys in the chat, you got to call in. Seems like you're in Las Vegas. Yes, I am. Oh, Raking Profits. What's up, bro? Proud of you, bro. Killing it. You're the first guy I ever did a collab with. Only guy, actually.
This is Rob.
Hey, what's up, Rob? You got Eric? You're live?
Hey, Eric. How's Vegas?
Vegas. Well, I was excited when I landed, and then money just started to evaporate out of my pocket afterwards. Yep. So it was.
I got the email you sent on Friday. I read it in my room in Vegas, and I was going to head over to the show on Saturday to see if I could come over.
Oh, you're in Vegas as well?
I left yesterday. I was there from Thursday through yesterday afternoon.
Were you there?
But I knew they had the show going on. I was going to come over and say, hey, but shit happens when you're in Vegas, and one thing led to another. I didn't make it over there.
Yep, I feel that. But yeah, Vegas. I always enjoy Vegas. I enjoy it more when I win money, though. But it's okay.
Right. Question I had. Speaking. Did you happen to see any of those? I was walking through the Flamingo and saw one. They have those vending machines.
Yeah, I saw that at the. I think I walked through Hara to get to an Uber, and I saw that vending machine that's selling cards or packs or something.
I just did it to see what I would get. Yeah, it's you can get graded slabs. I got a what did I get? Allen Iverson rookie 10 auto slabbed.
What's that worth?
I looked it up online. It looks like it's selling anywhere between 120 and 160, and it cost me 125 out of the machine.
Wow, you got to put $100 into the machine. Wow.
Well, I figured if I can throw over 500 into a slot machine, I think nothing of it. What's 100?
Oh yeah. You're in the place to spend money, so.
Yeah. What my real question though was, did you happen to see Jeff Wilson's video from last week? He had posted about the PSA wait times, and when he had spoken with the owner of PSA and what they're saying is taking so long? Your thoughts on that, Ware?
I have no idea. I don't. To be straightforward with you, I don't watch anybody's videos. So.
All right. He would basically. They were saying that the PSA is like, we're taking at least 4 months now. Hell, sometime with the GameStop business coming in is just kind of overwhelmed them with all the Pokemon submissions. And then it's taking up to 3 weeks just for sometimes your cards to even get from when they receive into the research process. And that's when they're starting the clock ticking on the 65 days. So with that said, does that change your opinion on using PSA for everything, or would you look at another grading company?
No, I wouldn't look at another grading company. The point, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, regardless, even if, and yes, 4 months is a pain in the ass, but if you, I know, you've been buying and selling cards, but if you're new to cards and you tell an entrepreneur, hey, I'm going to start a business and it's going to take me 4 months to start the profit, they'll laugh. They wouldn't even believe it's true because it's such a short period of time. As long as you're being consistent, and now you just need to be consistent for a longer period of time, lay out more money. If you're buying 5 to 10 cards a week and these cards start to come back 3 months in, you still won't realize how long it's taking, because then once 3 months hit or 4 months hit, how long it's going to take, these cards will start to fly back in. And you don't even realize how long the wait time's taking as long as you're being consistent. So whether it's 1 month, 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, 4 months obviously is shittier, but as long as you're being consistent, it doesn't matter.
All right. No, I didn't know if you were thinking like maybe do a strategy where you one submission to PSA, one to somebody else, one to PSA, one to somebody else.
No, I
get capital. Keep it all with PSA.
Correct. Yes. As long as you have the number I throw out there is you really need like $2,000 to make it work. And if you don't have $2,000 to mess around with, I just tell people don't buy and sell sports cards. Go get a job and save some money. It seems like you have $2,000 because you're throwing $500 into a slot machine. So.
I wish it was 500 into a slot. We're way above and beyond that.
Yeah. So for you, it won't be an issue. But yeah, just be consistent. It fixes all problems.
All right. Well, I'm meeting with your sales guy. I was waiting for my post-Vegas trip.
Probably a smart idea.
Meeting. No, I needed that capital for Vegas. But,
I don't blame you. Also, what I would say before I let you go is because wait times are taking longer, guess what happens? People don't want to grade cards. And now there's more gradable stuff out there.
Yeah.
So
it seems like it's so much. Everything they say, it's just the Pokemon that's killing them. And the thing I guess don't get is if they're getting backlogged and crushed with Pokemon, that's the only thing they didn't raise the fees on. Everything else went up.
Yeah.
Pokemon the same.
Well, the Pokemon market's really hot, and ask yourself, would you rather the market be hot or not hot? So.
I don't know Pokemon as much as sports cards, so what is your take? Do you think, is this hot Pokemon market a flash in the pan that's going to be a fad that will not be as long-term perhaps as like a sports card, or is the Pokemon to stay?
It'll stay, but it won't be jumping up like this. It'll be like the same thing as sports cards during the pandemics. It went up crazy, it came back down. But sports cards are still 3 to 4 times what it was before the pandemic. So yeah, nothing goes up like this. What goes up must come down, and it will come down.
Sure.
But it'll go down like 25, 30%. But that's still 2, 3, 4 times of where it was before all this stuff started. So it like nothing goes up forever, obviously, but it'll always be here to stay because Pokemon's just getting bigger as a game. The bigger it gets as a game, the more demand there is for the cards, and that game is what drives the market.
All right. Hey, how was that card show in Vegas? Did I miss anything?
Nah, it was mid.
All right.
Yeah, it was mid.
So, all right. So, but it's probably a good tax deduction for you nonetheless.
Yeah, well, to be straightforward, I come out here for the content. The content's always good, whether the show's great or not great. But yeah, it is a tax deduction. But I come out here for the content, and also I need to be in Dallas in a few days. So I was like, you know what? Vegas for the weekend doesn't sound like a bad idea. And now the UFC fights were here. My favorite comedian, so it's good timing.
If you ever get a chance, go eat at Carbone. It's the best restaurant I've ever been to.
The Italian?
Yeah, it's in Aria.
Yeah, oh, it's a great restaurant. There's a few of them. There's one in Atlantic City. There's one in Chicago, New York City. It's great.
They're awesome.
Yeah, oh, great restaurant.
All right,
cool. Good luck out there. Keep me updated on how it goes with the sales guy.
Yeah, will be.
All right.
Thank you.
Later. See ya.
Bye.
Good guy. Just called in before. By the way, like I said, your questions in the chat. Got to call in. Got to favor the callers. Hey, what's up? You have Eric. You're live.
Hey, Eric. This is Gary. How are you doing?
What's up, Gary? How can I make your day better?
You just answered the question I had, honestly, because
okay.
I was wondering the same thing with the backlog. Should I just send Pokemon to Tag or CGC? But you just said PSA.
Yep. But if you're limited on funds, then you can go to CGC or SGC. But I just tell people, if you're limited on funds, just save money before getting into cards.
I just see so many Pokemon cards with the Tag and CGC gradings, so I just wondered if they were comparable.
Yeah, it depends on the card. Everyone's different, but let me look here. So, let me see if like let's take this card of Victini. Let's see, because I was actually looking at CGC. And there's no 10 sales. There's no 10 sales. I was looking at CGC 10s at the show I was just at to to buy them and crack them and send them to PSA because there was margin there to be made. But I'm looking here. Cynthia's Garchomp. So like this random card I'm looking at, a PSA 10 does 150. This is Cynthia Garchomp, Destined Rivals 241. And I'll share my screen actually so everybody can see what I'm looking at. So this card, a CGC 10 is $57 and a PSA 10 is $148. So
wow.
Yeah. And this is what I was seeing. This is why I was trying to buy cards. It's a great idea actually to buy CGC cards because they're in good condition as a 10, crack them and send them to PSA because PSA does over double on a lot of them. I have a student, not a student, he's actually a coach that's buying these Japanese graded cards. Like there's Japanese grading companies and they sell for like a quarter of PSA 10s, but they're in great condition. He's buying tons of them from Japan, cracking them and sending them to PSA, and he's going to make a boatload of money.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, hey, thanks. Appreciate the help, and hope you win a bunch of money out there. And stay away from the slots. Go to the poker table.
Yeah, poker, when you lose as much money as I did from sports gambling this weekend, just grinding at the poker table to make a few $100s doesn't sound as appetizing. That's the problem. I'm in that mindset now where I don't even want to play anything because I lost so much yesterday from sports gambling. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point of going to blackjack playing $50 a hand?
Because you said it yourself, you're going to lose some in your sports card sales. You're going to have some bad days. It's those rebound days.
Yep. And the way I'll rebound is through sports gambling, not through playing poker. So I'll wait to strike next weekend maybe.
So okay, you nothing for tonight?
You know what? I'm usually a fan of dogs, but I think the Chiefs are going to cover 3.5, and I don't really want to touch the guy. I actually bet a lot of money on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl last week before they beat the Ravens. I got in good. And now the Chargers lost, and now it looks really good.
Well, I'm a Jags fan, so I'm definitely going against that.
Yeah, I just think Trevor Lawrence, I cannot understand that guy. He has every tool imaginable. How is he not excellent? He just has these good days and these bad days, and he's inaccurate. I'm like, man, he has everything. How is he not great?
He does have a better line consistency this year, and you can see the improvement.
Yep, 100%. I think he's going to throw like 1 or 2 interceptions against the Chiefs, and they'll lose by like 6. But who knows? You never know with this stuff.
It's his birthday. He's going to do well.
Oh, so maybe he was out drinking last night then. Maybe even worse. It should be a good game.
No. He's got the newborn at home. He's chilling at home.
Oh, okay. Then he's not drinking. But yeah, it should be a good game.
Yep. Well, hey, you have a great time out there. Enjoy your stay.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Later on.
See ya. Bye. Eric, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song? That new album came out, right? Life of a Showgirl. Taylor Swift's good. I wonder if maybe I'll look at some songs later. See if any of them are good. Like that song, Romeo, Take Me, na 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 na. That's a good one. What's another good one? Blank Space. Not a fan of that song. Hey, what's up? You have Eric. You're live.
Oh, hi. Yes, I had some questions for Eric.
This is Eric. You're speaking to him.
Hey, Eric. My name is Roger Dillon. I'm from California.
Roger.
And my question was grading.
Grading.
I started doing some shows and stuff.
Nice.
And I'm doing it on the side of my tax practice. I'm doing this as kind of like my side gig.
Okay.
So I have a lot of cards, and I'm looking at the different things like, like the last sales. I know there's Card Ladder.
Yep.
And what do you recommend? There's some other sites like Alt, I believe.
Yeah, Card Ladder. Card Ladder is the easiest to use. Once you get a little bit more advanced, especially if you're an accountant, you'll like Market Movers. It has like graphs and more data and stuff. But the simplest and easiest one to use is Card Ladder.
Okay, so maybe I will take a look at Market Movers and see if that works.
Yeah, Market Movers, sometimes it misses sales. So it's good at looking back in history. But if you're looking at like a recent sales and there's a lot of sales of a card, you want the last and most recent. Sometimes it misses sales. That's the only downside with it. But the upside is, the graphs and all the historical data.
Yeah. So, okay. So I do have another question.
Yeah.
So as far as, because I've been looking at the different market for Josh Allen.
Sure.
It's been really, really good. And I think another gentleman had asked if you authenticate a card. I have his rookie card.
Who's rookie?
It's Josh Allen.
Okay.
And it's the 2000. I have it right here. Oh, I think I gave it to my friend to move. It's basically it's in the PSA Authentic on the auto.
Yep.
And it's not, the card's not graded. So we have the same situation I think a previous caller had, where you authenticate the signature, but you were saying on that, should I go ahead and crack it, or should I just send it to PSA and get it graded and tell them if it's going to grade a 9 or 10 to
90. If the card is graded authentic, 99% chance the reason it was graded authentic is because the condition of the card is not that great. So without me looking at the card, I would say no. It's probably going to grade a PSA 7, PSA 8. That's why people usually grade cards authentic, because they just want to authenticate the card, but they don't want a number grade on it because, a 6, a 7, and 8 looks ugly. So most likely, I wouldn't.
So I think there's a 9.5 and a 10 on the auto that graded, that is up, it's about $7,000 on eBay.
Yeah.
Selling for, it's about 6 to 7 is what I heard.
Yeah, and
5,800 was the last sale on it.
Which card is this? What's the name of the card?
This is the Josh Allen. It's the green crystals.
Yeah, okay. That card's extremely hard to grade too. Most likely it's going to grade like a PSA 7, to be honest with you. Maybe a PSA 8. I'd be shocked if it got a 9. Like, I'd be shocked. So most likely I would not do that.
Okay, just leave it the way it is. Now, if you were looking in the market, what would be your professional judgment as far as pricing that particular card, like in the mid 35s, or? It's a green.
Is it a green crystal prism auto?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, it's a good card.
It's 70. I think that one. I think it's out of 50 or 75.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just look. What'd you pay for it?
I paid below 2
Okay.
at an auction.
So I'm looking here. The last sale. Oh, wait, let me look. Oh, let me just look at all graded sales of this card. So a Beckett 9, the last sale of Beckett 9.5 10 did 3,600. A PSA 10 did 4,950. Then before in June, Beckett 9.5 did 2,800. 40. So it's up a little bit. The card is probably worth. Yeah.
Low threes?
No, not low threes. A Beckett 9.5 did 3,600. So it's probably worth, if I had to take a guess, in between 1,700 to 2,000.
Oh, so it is what I paid for.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, which is why I would definitely go back and listen to more of my content. Like buying guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, it's very hard to make money on them because you could think of buying those guys as like buying a Disney stock. It's blue chip. People know he's great. Doesn't go up much, doesn't go down much. And grading those cards is very difficult because Josh Allen's rookie year was from 7 years ago. So there's a reason a card hasn't been graded in 7 years, right? It's usually not in great condition. So it's very hard.
Moving it.
What'd you say?
It's the liquidity on it is going to be very low.
The liquidity on the card, it's going to be an easy card to move. It's just going to be hard to make a decent chunk of change on because people know, like, it's just like a blue chip guy. Like, it doesn't go up much or down much. You're not going to get great deals on it. It's liquid. You'll move it. But the money, it's easier to make money on like the lower, not the lower end, but like the newer guys who are more volatile because you can buy those cards, get them graded, buy them when they're low, sell them when they're high before the season starts because those guys move around a lot. Josh Allen doesn't move around a lot because everyone knows he's great.
Okay. Now I have one more question.
Yeah.
I have time. Okay. I have a 2022 101 Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Platinum card.
Okay.
And I've got it here somewhere here. I'm thinking.
Is it autographed?
This 101. I took it to a card shop. I had them look at it. I had a couple friends look at it, and they're all saying it's about $1,500.
Is it autographed?
But it being a 101, you really can't put a value on it, and it's not going to be graded. I mean, you're not going to see any sales on it unless it was sold once. And the last time I think it was sold, it was very. I don't think that there is a sale on it.
Is the card autographed?
I have it right here. Let me double check.
Yeah, that makes.
I don't think if it is, I think there's going to be more value to it, right?
Yes, usually yes, if it's autographed.
If it's not,
well, just let me know, because I'm assuming you're asking me what's the value of it. Is that what you're asking me?
yeah, I was just trying to figure out what would be the best thing because when I go to my next show, I want to put it. I was thinking of putting it at 2,500. So it's. My friend said it was maybe $1,500.
Yeah,
but there's really no value to it because there's not another card like that around.
Yes,
it's a one-on-one.
And that's the reality of one-on-ones. It could sell for $1,000. It could sell for $3,000. You just don't know. I would say based on what I'm looking at on eBay, I would say it's like $1,500 to $2,000 in that range. But yeah, I would ask $2,500 on it because all it takes is one Aaron Judge fan to pay that because those cards are like that.
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate your feedback. And,
yeah, man.
I enjoy your channel. I started watching it a couple of weeks ago.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. If you have any other questions in the future, just, it looks like you're beginning your card journey, just feel free to call in.
Okay, I appreciate it. I look forward to your shows. All right.
All right. Thanks, man. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Must have some decent change if his first few cards he's buying is that green crystal Josh Allen, because that's expensive. It's just hard to make money with those. It's just like no one's giving you a good deal on a Josh Allen card. It's not going to go up much, down much. It's just hard. I'm calling you guys back. Don't you worry. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song, Wanda Franco, Super Collector? That's not a good name to have, by the way. I might change that Wander Franco Super Collector because, I don't know if that's a good look, man. So, I don't know. I might change that to like Junior Caminero Super Collector or something if you're a Rays fan.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You have Eric? You're live?
Hey, Eric. This is Tom. How are you today?
Todd or Tom?
Tom.
Tom, what's up? Tom, doing well. How are you?
Good, thanks. Couple quick questions. How do you feel about card repairing, or not repairing, but I guess pre-submission to PSA? Going through and doing more than just wiping it down. I wanted to get your take on it. I know you probably already talked about it before, but I don't seem to remember you talking about it too much. But the more I watch on YouTube, the more interested I get in it. I have differing opinions on whether or not it's right or wrong. But I wanted to get your take on it, and then I have a follow-up after that. If you have the time.
So I look at card, like putting stuff on the surface for the card. I look at it as counting card. It's like counting cards. If you go to the casino and count cards, it's not illegal. Casinos just don't want you to do it, and they're going to kick you out. So if PSA finds that you're doing that, they're going to kick you out because it gives you an unfair advantage. It's just a rule they have. It's kind of like counting cards and going to the casino. Me personally, I keep it more basic. I just wipe the card down. I don't do that. Now, I could tell you what is illegal is if you, like what people have done in the past, is if you trim the card. So if you like trim the corner just a hair to make it sharper because it was beat up, that is illegal. And then also, one of the most famous cases of this, if you look, let me see if I can find this. This might be delayed for you. If you ever look at Juan Soto's Superfractor Bowman Chrome from 2016, if you go on Google Images, you'll see here. This is actually crazy. I actually know the person that did it, and I'm not going to throw names out there. So, if you look at the card, where is it? Okay, so the card, someone altered the autograph on the Juan Soto Superfractor. So the card was originally altered.
I see it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't find it. I can't find the altered version. So it was a PSA 10 afterwards, but beforehand it was like a Beckett 9 or something, and the guy wiped the autograph. I can't find the picture of the crappier autograph, but the autograph used to run off the card, and then the guy wiped it, I believe, and then sent it to PSA, and then it got a 10 because obviously a card without. So yeah, I can't find a picture of the bad autograph, but a card with an autograph running off of it is less, just doesn't look as good as, with the whole autograph on the card. But that's illegal. So you are, that is no good.
You're altering it.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like when you're, when I see these guys polishing and making things look better, more presentable, I kind of feel like, all right, you bought a classic car for $50,000 and you put your heart and soul into it, and you make it look better than it did when it came off the floor.
Yeah,
it's for 60 or 70. It's like, well, what's the difference? I mean, you as long as you're upfront about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. Like putting stuff on the surface to make it shinier. I view that as like counting cards. It's not illegal, but PSA doesn't want you doing it. Actually altering the card would be the equivalent of maybe buying like a 1960 Corvette, right? You buying a motor, like another original motor, and replacing it with the motor that came with it and saying that this was the original. Well, that's wrong.
You have to disclose it.
Yeah, and that's wrong. That's kind of like trimming cards or trimming the autograph. That's illegal. That's wrong. It's a fine line, man. I just wipe the cards. I mean, I have a pretty good eye for cards, so I don't need to get into that stuff that much. I do pretty well without it. But but if PSA finds out, at least to my knowledge, that you're actually messing around with the surface, the FBI is not going to come knocking on your door, but they will cut you off. They will cut you off.
Right. Well, that's a good segue when you start talking about PSA to my next question. So let's say, what happens if you were to crack a card that's numbered and you send it back into PSA? Are they going to say, "Oh, we have a record of this card because it's 5 out of 10, whatever it is"?
I don't know, because they said something along the line. This was like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. They said that you can't crack and resubmit cards like under numbered 49 or below anymore because they're keeping track. But then I've seen people do it and get different grades. It's just a very hard thing to keep track of, and I don't see why PSA would want to limit that, because they're just costing themselves money because
they're just maximizing profit, and that's what they're all about to begin with.
But it might kill some of their validity, right? Because it does look a little funny if the same card gets a 9 and gets a 10. So, and they probably don't need the extra 0.01% in profit. They probably make enough money. They probably care about their reputation more. But they said that they were going to stop it, but I don't see that they did. But that's what they said.
So when you were younger, when you first started, and you were sending stuff out to your buddy in Texas from Beckett, like the guy that lived down the street from Beckett or whatever.
Yeah, well, he actually lived 2 hours away. He would drive every Friday. But
hey, that is kind of down the street from where you were from, so I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like PSA is on the other side of the world because I'm on the East Coast, and so are you.
Yep.
But it would be nice to just go in and hand deliver it and stand there and watch them do it.
Yeah.
Good. But
well, they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you in. You could just drop it off. Yeah, they wouldn't let you in.
I heard someone told me that you could actually get something graded in person at shows.
Yeah, you could, but the graders are closed off. You can't see who they are. They are behind their giant booth with like closed curtains. They don't want anyone to know who they are because obviously they don't want their graders to be influenced. You cannot watch them grade the card. You could drop it off at PSA, then they'll give it to the grader. But the people who, like at a card show, the people who are at the PSA booth, they handle all the administration, you paying them and you submitting the paperwork for what cards, and then they give it to the grader because obviously they don't want you and I in touch with the grader, right? And actually, what's funny is a PSA grader a few weeks ago called into the podcast and like asking me for advice, and I was like, "Man, this guy's."
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah,
I remember picking up on that.
Yeah,
I did hear that. Yeah, you were kind of like, "Whoa, really? You work there?" Okay.
Yeah, because hold
the phones. Let's talk to this guy.
Yeah, I was like, because PSA would probably not want him doing that, I would imagine. But
yeah, I would imagine not.
But you have where do you live on the East Coast?
Mid-Atlantic, Maryland, D.C. area.
Oh, okay. Because in New Jersey, they have a facility where you could drop cards off PSA. PSA has like a headquarters in, what is it? Oh, Jersey City. And then they'll ship it to California, I believe.
They do a drop-off in the Baltimore area once in a blue moon I've seen, where you can just go in personally, you can just go submit it in person.
Yeah.
You still mail it back to you, but at least to one step you skip.
Yeah.
So when you were doing that when you were younger, and you were saying like, hey, if it's not a 9 or better, just send it back. Don't grade it.
Yep.
I seem to remember you saying that. They don't do that anymore, right?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yeah, you could put a min grade on it, so you could tell PSA if it doesn't grade a 10, just leave it alone. But they're still going to charge you the whole grading fee. Like back then,
that's fine.
They wouldn't charge the whole grading fee.
So what about, you were mentioning earlier about the authenticating. Could you say like, hey, if it doesn't grade an 8 or better, can you just authenticate it?
I believe so. But what I would say to that is, at least me, I'd rather my card be raw than authentic. Because when a card's authentic, it just screams there's something screwed up with it.
Really?
Yeah. Because that's why people grade cards authentic. Because the condition, think about it. If you have an authentic card, if it was in good condition, wouldn't you rather send it in PSA to get it actually graded? There's a reason it's authentic. And I believe it usually kills the value a little bit. And
I was thinking in my head for like older cards that are just, they're not going to garner much more than like a 1 or a 2, and they're not super valuable, but there's something to keep. And I got a nice case with that saying like 1. Rather than just sitting loose top loader or something. But all right, that's interesting. Cool. So I have this one card. I'd rather not talk about it on the air.
Okay.
But it's an interesting card that I pulled out of my collection from years ago, and it's a Brady. That's all. That's as far as I'll go with it.
Sure.
But I would love, if you're as good as you say you are, and it sounds like you are based on your rep.
Yeah.
For your eye for grading.
Okay.
Not to take. I'm sure you got plenty of other better things to do, but if you ever have an opportunity, I would love for you to take a look at this card. I'll send you every picture I can send. I'm just kind of pondering on whether or not
you want to you can just text it to this phone. I can look at it. I won't share my screen. I'll just
it's not a big deal. It's not like a huge deal. I would rather just kind of know on my own terms, if you know what I mean, and have you take a look at it and see what you think.
Sure. Do you want to text it to this phone? I can just take a look.
Yeah.
I won't tell people what card it is, but I'll just take a look and tell you.
You want me to text it now?
Yeah. We're on air. You got me. It's gonna be very hard to get a hold of me outside of this. So.
Yeah, I have an image of it. It's not going to be good enough for what you want to look at, but it'll give you an idea what the card is.
Sure.
And always, in the future.
Yeah, text
something.
Yeah, text it over. Let me know when you send it. Let me know when you send the text.
All right, hang on 1 second here.
Yeah, secret card. Must be a solid.
It's not as big of a deal. Probably shouldn't have said that. It's not that huge of a deal, but I did see where there's only like a couple sales.
Yeah.
And here it is. All right, this is gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna need that number again.
So the number is 813-618-2075. Let me know when you pop it over.
Yeah. So back in these, when this first came out, this set was like the last time I really collected hard until last year. And I put it all away. So I started going through old stuff, and I dug this out. I dug every version of this card out. Like there's different, tiers.
Okay.
And different, like gold, black, whatever, bronze, silver. But I got every one of them, including this one. But this one in particular, there was like one sale that sold, and for some reason PSA graded it as a 4. I don't understand that.
It's not an easy card to grade. Those cards are a little bit thicker.
Yeah, but then I saw another one go at an auction, in an auction house, like a high-end auction house.
Yeah.
This is back like just after, maybe a year or two after COVID. But that one went for over $10,000.
Well, I'm seeing your card in a PSA 10 in February sold for $1,800.
It did, okay. So I wonder why it sold for so high. I guess just because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah, the Tom Brady market was like 10 times what it is now during COVID. Like a card, like his contenders, what was it? Oh man, his contenders like championship ticket sold for like 1.5 million or something like that. Today that card would be like $300K.
Oh wow.
Yeah, his market was crazy.
So do you feel like it's worth grading?
Without having better pictures.
Yeah, that's a terrible picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been sitting in that top loader since I pulled it out of a pack.
Let me just get a general gist for how hard. So that card, generally speaking, about 25% of them are going to get a 10. And let me see if I can.
That's not good.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a thicker card. It's hard, and it's also when you send that card in for grading, it's just graders look at it and they're like, well, why hasn't this card been graded in 20 years? So yeah, I would just need better pictures. The answer is, let me see if there's any PSA 9 sales. Hold on. Let me see if I can find anything. PSA Authentic did $382. Another PSA 10 did $2,500. And then I see that Pop one, that same card that sold for $1,800 did 10,000 in 2022. So that guy lost.
That's the one I was talking about, the 10,000. That's what caught my eye. I was like, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not worth that. So that card, the same card 4 months later after that March sale in 2022, then sold for $2,400, then $2,500 2 years later, and then it did $1,800. So if I thought I can get a 9, I would send it in for grading, because that card I'd imagine is $200 to $300 not graded. A PSA 9 is probably like $500. Then a PSA 10 is $1,800. That'd be my guess.
Okay. All right. I'm in no hurry to unload it or anything. I just was curious. I don't know if that's something worth holding on to for a long time or what.
No, it's not. It's not. I wouldn't hold on to it for a long time. It's not as rookie. I'd rather put that money into a rookie.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you, man. Oh, last question.
Yeah.
The vintage cards that I pull out that I feel like should be graded. Who should I send it to, and what's your opinion of tag? Not related to vintage cards, but just as in grading as in
PSA. To simply answer your question.
Okay. Any opinion on tag?
Tag?
Yeah, the grading company. TAG.
Oh, yeah, it's just another grading company. It's not going to sell for. I would like to put it in perspective. I'd love to buy from that company and then resubmit the cards to PSA.
Yeah, because they seem to do a pretty good job, and they explain every detail. That you get a full printout of every reason why it was graded the way it was.
Do you know why they're able to do that? Because they don't have the demand PSA does.
And they're doing it with AI. They're not doing it with human graders. It's all AI.
Yeah, so maybe one day that company could pop off, but for the time being, just if you want to make the most amount of money possible, PSA.
All right, will do.
All
right. Well, I appreciate your help, Eric. You have a good rest of your day. Appreciate what you do. Your content's amazing. So
thanks, bro.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Good luck.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, let's see. Is that it for callers? Anyone else? We're running out of time here. I have a crazy day ahead of me.
Got one last person from Vegas.
Okay, I'm going to call this last one because the area code's from Vegas.
Local presence.
Imagine. We're calling you back. By the way.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You have Eric? You're live?
What's going on, man?
What's up, dude? Who's this? Carlos, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just have a couple of questions. Actually, I've been watching you for like a few months now.
Nice.
And you were the one that inspired me to buy a couple of. I don't know much about sports cards per se, but like I said, I've been watching you, and I pulled the trigger on a few. And as you can see, I got a Stefan Castle watercolor pink out of 99. I got a 10, and it's only a pop 3 as of Friday. So.
Oh, nice. I was gonna say, I hope you weren't calling in to say my advice sucked. I thought you were gonna be like,
you worked out.
Oh, that's good to know. I know.
And you know what's funny too? I actually pulled the trigger of buying a couple of cards from China, but I guess that's the other thing. My eyes not keen on. Like, it's so hard to figure out all the type of cards and centering and all of that.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't do too bad. I got 2 9s on Jared McCain and Zach Edey. Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name. Well, what's the what are you gonna make on the castle? What does that sell for?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out because I haven't seen one for sale yet.
Well, let's see.
And,
what's give me the name of the card again.
It's the Court Kings 24-25 Panini Court Kings watercolor. It's pink out of 99.
So you're asking me what's it worth?
Yeah, because I seen one. It's like, I think it's like the base. I think it sold for like 200.
Yeah.
So like I said, this one
water
is top 3.
color Court. Is it Court King or Court Kings?
Yeah, Court Kings.
Kings with an S?
Yes.
Okay, let's look. I can't find this watercolor. So a 9. What'd you pay for it?
I think I paid about 50 after everything.
How much?
$50?
$50? Yeah, sounds about right. So a PSA, if I had to guess, a PSA 10 will hover around 200.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. $50 after taxes and shipping and everything.
Yep. So you paid good. A PSA 9 at 60. That's the only sale I see. So I would assume high 100s, close to 200.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I saw the same one, but not the same one. The base one, I think it sold for like 202 or something.
Oh well, if that's true. Then yours is worth more. If that's true, then yours is like 300.
Yeah, because I think I saw it, and yeah, 240. No, that's because I looked, but like I said, I couldn't find it. Since this is a pop 3. Yeah, 209 for a PSA, just regular.
Yeah.
But sold July 9th, so I guess it's been a minute.
Yeah, I would say, based on what I'm seeing, I would say it's around 200.
200. Okay.
Yep.
All right, because I usually want to take it to like a show or like try to sell it or whatever, and be like, try to get less or way less.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the card. That's not too bad.
Oh.
One of the first few cards.
No, I've been, like I said, I listen to you quite often, like in the mornings.
Yep.
When I'm here at work, like because this happens to be this kind of like my break to get. I teach, so this is like my time to like get everything like graded and stuff. So I listen to you in the background, and I'm more into baseball. That's why I was like, oh, let me just pull the trigger on these basketball guys because I don't know them. So like I wrote them down, and I said, all right, I'm doing it, and I did it.
Well, cool. Congratulations. I know it's that pulling the trigger. The hardest thing in business is to start. So
yeah,
congrats on doing it.
I actually got back. I also sent a Drake May hollow optic.
Yep.
I sent it in May, and I just got it back about 3 weeks ago. But I sent it through a shop here because I didn't know what I was doing to PSA. I was kind of like scared of doing it. So I sent that. I sent a Jaden Daniels retro, a JJ McCarthy retro, and a Pokemon. I'm more into like the Pokemon.
Yeah, the Pokemon stuff's really good. Did the Drake May get a 10?
The Drake May got a 10.
Wow. You're better than me, man. You should be in front of the camera teaching. Shit.
And I pulled that card too.
Well, well, if you pulled it, it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I like I said, I started listening to you, and I stopped buying boxes.
Well,
I buy a box like maybe once a month of baseball just because I like opening them. But like I said, what I've been grading more is Pokemon because I that's where I started with.
But I see, the Pokemon stuff's solid.
I'm 100% on 10s on Pokemon right now.
Wow. So, you're crushing it, dude. Kia, I don't really have advice for you. Just keep doing what you're doing.
My Moltres, I was gonna say, check this one out. My Moltres, I'm getting it with this Stefan Castle. It's about $550, and I also pulled that card. Actually, I pulled it here in the classroom with my students.
That's funny. What grade do you teach? Fifth. Gotcha. Yeah, starting them. You got to tell them though when you open up those packs. Don't do this yourself. Don't tell your parents. Just
no, I don't. Well, it was kind of like a summer school type of thing. Like, let's have a little bit of fun.
Okay, yeah, you could have more fun in summer school then.
So yeah.
Well, cool.
All right, well, thank you. That was it.
Well, sweet, cool. Congratulations, man.
All right, well, thank you so much.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I gotta end this bad boy. I know we have tons of callers. I apologize. Cobby, what time's Vid Summit start on Wednesday?
8 a.m. or something.
Okay, this upcoming Wednesday, possibly or possibly not, we'll be doing this. If we do it, it will be earlier, like 1 or 2 hours earlier. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll send an email out to everybody. There's a PDF down below of what I talked about earlier. It's free value. Go and get it. It's in the description. It's the top 5 mistakes or top 5 things I wish I knew when I was first started buying and selling sports cards. You other callers, I will get to you guys in the next one. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.